Good morning. I'm Kathy McNichols, and I will be your worship associate this morning. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Whether you are here in person or joining us online, you are most welcome. No matter who you love, no matter how you look, no matter what zodiac sign you're born under, you are welcome. This morning, we are delighted to have Maya Penn with us from the Knowledge Exchange. She will be sharing with us about her organization's goal of delivering holistic, evidence-based educational services to the children in our area. There will be a time of question and answer at the end. I hope that you will join in the conversation. Consider these words as we begin our service today. We don't get a chance to do yesterday over again. The best reason to think about the past is because it gives us the opportunity to improve the future. Because we don't get tomorrow over again either. We have gathered together to encourage one another to be the best people that we can be in today's world. Using the words of Desmond Tutu, we want to become a reservoir of joy, an oasis of peace, a pool of serenity that can ripple out to all those of us. I'm sorry that I messed that up. That's a very important quote from our She said those are words today. She likes to live by. She said those are words she likes to live by. Maddie will come and play for us now. I invite you to prepare your hearts and minds.
Good morning. It's time for our opening song.
Good morning. It's time for our opening song. Please, if you're able, stand and join us for We Give Thanks. I'd invite you to say hello to the folks around you, say good morning, give a greeting, let them know how you're doing today. Maybe make a new friend, introduce yourself. Okay, we're gonna sing one more verse. Okay, we're gonna sing one more verse. Come back to us. Join us. Here we go. Join us. Here we go. One more time. Oh, we give thanks. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here in this far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. Thank you. You may have a seat. Thank you. You may have a seat.
Give him a helping hand, put a little love in your heart. See, it's getting late. Oh, please don't hesitate. Put a little love in your heart. And the world will be a better place. You know the world will be a better place for you. And you just wait and see. Another day goes by, and still the children cry. Put a little love in your heart. You want the world to know. You want the world to know. We won't let hatred grow. Put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place. You know the world will be a better place for you. And you just wait and see. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart. A little love in your heart. A little love in your heart. Take a good look around, and if you're looking down, put a little love in your heart. I hope that you decide kindness will be your guide. You just wait and see. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart. A little love in your heart. A little love in your heart. Put a little love in. Put a little love in. Put a little love in your heart.
I don't know if you could tell, but I really liked singing that song. I don't know if you could tell, but I really liked singing that song. Before I introduce our speaker, our children's RE program is about to begin. Any school-aged children are invited to join Jackie over here at the side door right now. Our youth are also meeting this week if you would like to go. Nice crowd. Nice crowd in RE today. Love it. Okay. The Knowledge Exchange, or TKE, is a 501c3 nonprofit corporation founded in Fredericksburg, Virginia on April 30th, 2020. They are a diverse team of passionate professionals who realize that quality education is oftentimes unattainable for the majority of people. They exist to deliver holistic, evidence-based educational services that empower individuals and promote lifelong learning, fostering an inclusive global community. Maya Penn is the co-founder and CEO of TKE. She is a social entrepreneur, creator, and educator whose work is focused on community building and empowering others. Please help me welcome Maya.
I can project. Do you guys prefer this? Just so we can hear. Do you guys prefer this? Just so we can hear everything. Alrighty then. Have my fidget, because always. Helps me stay focused. So just a little bit more about me. I'm actually a Fredericksburg local, one of the few in the area you probably know of in the area. Born and raised in the Spotsy, Fredericksburg area. Went to Riverbend High School 2012. So this is where I'm from. And growing up, I was a kid who needed extra support growing up, but I didn't really get it because my parents. I didn't fit into that box of the kid who was like the trouble kid, or the kid who struggled so much that it led to getting assessed for something. I had speech, and that was about it. And I had to work really hard to do well in school. As I got older, I realized there's so many other kids, so many other people who aren't getting the proper support they need because they don't fit into this nice little box that checks off, they then get services. And so I started working outside of, when I got out of high school, working in disability services, worked in childcare, youth development, trying to find something that spoke to me of how could I give back to the community. I volunteered, nonprofit work, and that's what really spoke to me. Was working in nonprofit work because I was able to fill a community need and be able to help people. Currently, I'm the pro bono CEO of the Knowledge Exchange, and just really was excited to have the opportunity to start a nonprofit that was educated focused and also be able to really change how people perceive education. I'm excited to share these. This is part of our community. You all are part of our community. Met David a couple months ago at the Metaphysical Market, and we're able to connect with a lot of people who believe in quality education. It is a right, not a privilege, that people should be able to have access to something where they can learn and grow. So just excited to partner up with the Moose Lodge, 1655 and Spotsy. They support a lot of our tutoring programming. JJ Merchant Services, they are actually a partnership that was established from one of our students who really grew a lot in our program and actually is one of our first enrichment instructors through our programs. And then the list goes on, the Disability Resource Center. My background's in disability services and applied behavior analysis, so I utilize a lot of my education and experience to change behavior and change how people see things to really help make that change that we want to see. So this is our mission statement. I tell people, I really do respect your intelligence, so I'm not going to read the whole thing, but just some little bullet points of we are evidence-based. That's my background. There are tried and true strategies that work. Why reinvent the wheel? But each person's different, so you know what strategies might be adjusted or tweaked for that individual person. And we look at a holistic, like the whole person. So if that person needs support in their school setting, okay, what do those supports look like? Can we connect with the teachers to figure that out, collaborate? Okay, they may have food insecurity. Let's connect them to resources so they can get the food that they need, because that impacts their learning. There's a lot of things that play into it, and people just look at one facet when it's more of a whole thing. And then we are a community that it's not just the person in your neighboring county or the person in the next state over. It's actually anybody. When we got founded, it showed us that we are more connected through the internet than we ever thought we were, and that we can create community with somebody that we maybe will never meet in person, but they live in a country far, far away. One of our board members, she actually lives in Pakistan, and it just shows that people can feel like, hey, even though I don't live there, I see the value of what you guys do, and I want to support and what I can do from afar. Awesome thing I like to share too is I'm able to develop a nonprofit that inspired people that I love most. So my fiance, Chris, he is the director of enrichment programming for our organization, and my sister, Candace, she's the program coordinator and of our D&D program. And they're both individuals who just couldn't figure out what exactly spoke to them professionally. They just did jobs to kind of make ends meet, and through our organization realized that they like volunteer work and they're able to do something that they're passionate about and help others when they were never given that opportunity. So I love to give people opportunity to show them what they're made of, push them a little bit. They say I might be a little pushy, but I'm like, but as I see something in you, that you can do more, and I can support them throughout that process. It got a little tiny for some reason, I don't know, but I'll read this one. This is our value statement. So we're dedicated to ensuring that quality education is a right, not a privilege, and we apply holistic and evidence-based approaches in what we do to foster an inclusive community. Just kind of reverberating our mission statement, just to let people know this is what we stand on, this is what we've been doing for the past 5 years, we're gonna keep doing it. And that's just how we are. Here's our core values: community, learning, innovation, equity, inclusion, all those things encompass. I actually became the CEO back in 2023. I started as their chief marketing officer, doing outreach, because that's a lot of what I did prior to TKE becoming TKE. And then I became the COO, and then the prior CEO left, and so I was asked to join as the CEO, and I was very much like, I like being in the background. I don't want people, I'm out in the community because people need to know what we're doing, but they don't need to know it's me. I'm good. But I'm very fortunate that they saw something in me to give me the opportunity to be able to show people that, anybody, I'm not trying to down myself, but anybody can push themselves and achieve their goals that maybe they never thought that they would be able to achieve. Our code of ethics, like we said, we have values, we stand upon them. We treat people with dignity and respect because we have an inclusive environment that we develop. About 60% of our participants have some type of disability or learning challenge, and I'm just thankful to be able to create a space for people of any creed to be able to come into our spaces. Diligence in making sure that we have evidence-based strategies, taking data. My background always comes into play. People want to see the numbers. People want to see the impact that you're having. They're not going to support the work if they don't know if it's actually doing anything. Being transparent and just being accountable, owning up when we make a mistake. I'm the first one who will say, I messed up, I'm sorry, I'll try better next time. and just ensuring that confidentiality. Any names that I do share is because they have gave me permission to share their story, because it's important that not everybody wants their business out there, but they still want the help. And so it doesn't matter if they're not able to say their name or share their picture. It's only if they're okay with it. And that informed consent is always important to us. And conflict of interest, always making sure we're on the up and up of things. Our vision statement, overall, I want people to change how they see education, because when they think of tutoring, they think, oh, just academics. Or people think of enrichments, they just think of like one thing. I want to expand people's learning. I want to expand people's thought process on things, challenge it, and instill this idea that we can learn from each other, not just when you're in a teacher-student relationship, but teacher-teacher, community-community. In this setting, I want to give you guys an opportunity to learn about something that maybe you didn't know about. A lot of people tell us, I didn't know you guys were here. And I'm like, that's why I'm boots on the ground, making sure that people know that we're here and the impact that we're having to show you that we can help you too, or somebody you know might need some support. So this is what we do. We do tutoring, enrichments, events. Our tutoring is K through 12. We do focus mainly on youth, but we also do adult education. So we do have had done GED tutoring. We have a student right now who's getting her schedule together to be able to start back up her GED tutoring. And we actually partnered up with Micah Ministries a couple years ago to be able to provide that tutoring for their neighbors. And we do that one-on-one, and we're looking to maybe do small groups in the future, just because evidence has shown that small group, peer groups are good for education development. Enrichments, we utilize Dungeons & Dragons, which you all are familiar with because you guys do D&D as well. But that was our response to COVID. Back in 2021, we realized that, yes, academics are still needing support, and so do our tutoring, but our social emotional education is very much lacking in the school setting, and so we wanted to provide a nerd space, because I'm a big nerd. I love comic books, anime, the whole nine. And so I was a kid who was nerdy and made fun for it. Wasn't really given that chance other than having my close knit of friends to be able to be myself. And I wanted to be able to create spaces. And that was a big reason why Candace joined in, because she wanted to create a space that she could be able to provide that for other youth and for them to make friends and feel comfortable and secure in themselves. And just wanting to continue to grow that. We want to do STEM next year, doing some coding, camps and things, so we're really trying to find ways to evolve our enrichments. And then lastly, our events. We do workshops to provide educational opportunities about financial literacy, mindfulness, yoga, mental health. I'm now youth mental health first aid certified as an instructor, so I want to be able to provide those classes for people to get certified so they can see the signs and symptoms of mental distress in our youth and continue to help educate each other in different ways. One of our programs that Chris developed was our Dungeon Master Assistant program. If you don't know a whole lot about D&D, or you just heard a little things about it, you have a group of players that are adventurers, and then you have a person who kind of facilitates and guides a story that they are kind of working and playing through. And so there was a lot of youth who wanted to learn how to become a DM, but didn't know how to. And Chris was a forever DM. He's been playing D&D. Yeah, you know what I mean by that is, if somebody knows that you want to be a DM, you're going to stay a DM because there's more players and they are DMs. And so Chris became a forever DM for a long time. He's been playing D&D for almost 20 years, and he joined our organization as a player at first, because I told him when we first started dating, I was like, hey, we have a D&D adult group that you can join. Check it out. And then you won't be a forever DM because you get to play with us. And he fell in love with it because he saw that this was something that he could do more with, that he could really support, and he became our director of enrichment programming. So he developed this program to help young people be able to develop these skills, life skills of time management, problem solving, critical thinking, compassion, and empathy. I did training with some of our assistant DMs as well as Candace and Chris for them to be certified in youth mental health first aid, so they can be more amped to respond versus reacting. They're human, and they're learning how to interact with kids of different backgrounds and things like that. So it just helps them be able to show up better for our kids. And so we started with 2. One has graduated, so now we have 4 mentees this past year, and they do volunteer hours where they shadow each other, they think of different ideas to be able to work with their peers. We had 4 of our assistant DMs run our novice group together and tag team that, just finding different opportunities for them. And so Mason, he's one of our assistant DMs who's actually graduated to actually become an enrichment instructor, and he is facilitating his own novice group all by himself, with the support, of course, of our team, but really helping him see that he does have value, that people do see him. He's an individual who is impacted by autism and anxiety. When he started, he would literally talk like this and have his tics and not want to engage. He loved D&D, but he didn't know how to interact with people. And he started with us when he was 16. He's now 19 now, and he has told us, if I didn't have this program, I wouldn't know if I would be here. And I say that because it's heavy. And I say that because it matters what we do, and that we saw something in him. And yes, he didn't fit that mold of a leader, a DM, but I was like, but we can shape that. We can support him. We can show people that you can be whoever you want to be and be able to do something you're passionate about. And it gave him a feeling of belonging and purpose. I get choked up because he's such an amazing young man. So, yeah. I'll move on before I just cry up here. So one of our tutoring programs is our Young Minds Matter program. We provide free tutoring for families in low to middle income households. So here's some outcomes from this past school year. We've been doing this program since 2020, sponsored about 11 kids through donations from Black Lives Matter Fredericksburg. Then we had some dips and things, so we used our own revenue to be able to support 5 students. And then this past year, we were able to support 10 students through generous donations of the community, especially the Moose Lodge. Our goal is to hit 15 students through K through 12 and trying to expand our reach again. Times are tough, and so we are trying to think of different ways to be able to continue to do this work. Because most of us are pro bono. We do pay our tutors as contractors to keep the consistency and quality of our services. But this is the result of that. Almost 300 tutoring sessions, over 300 plus hours of tutoring sessions throughout the school year. Yes, the math and English scores are great, seeing that income, that increase. But I really like to focus on the confidence that these students have developed, that they feel more confident about how they learn. They're able to communicate that, able to problem solve those things, because once they learn how they learn, then they can learn anything. Because they can take something and say, oh, I know I need to study this way. I need to write down this. I need to have tactile things to be able to really understand the material versus just having them memorize, regurgitate, okay, I got an A, let's move on. No, let's actually think about the whole learning process to really help empower them. So numbers are great because people like numbers, and I'm a numbers person too. But one good story about this, we had a young man who refused to write. He was like, I don't want to write. He had a bad relationship with writing, didn't even want to write a paragraph. And his tutor really worked with him and realized he loved sports. He just needed some more breaks that really helped process the information. And then after the end of his sessions, he was able to write paragraphs, write a whole paper, at least 3 pages long, because he was able to, at first, we do scaffolding, so kind of starting a little bit small. Let's start with one pair. Let's talk about the sports team that you like. Let's talk about football. Let's write something about that. And then realizing that you can take that structure of something that you enjoy and something that you may not enjoy as much, but you can add aspects of yourself within your writing to really help, share new things with other people, but also still do your assignments, because that's important, and showing the value of that. So I like to share that story because he definitely was like, absolutely not, I'm not doing this. But Cozy was like, well, I'm not going to force you, but let me explain to you why it's important and how we can work up to that, and really explaining that why and how we can get there, and you have support. So it's tiny, but I hope you guys can read it. I kind of broke down the cost of what it takes to cover tutoring for our students, so they get that either 3 months, a full school year of tutoring. If somebody were to cover that one-on-one tutoring support for 15 students, we've been talking to different organizations, foundations, people to donate any little amount that they can, raising money in different ways. But this is just ways that we can try to still continue to provide the high quality of support that we have. If a business does it, they get their logo on our website. Doesn't hurt, right? They get some updates from the student, things like that. Highlight them for their support, all that good stuff. And then your wonderful church body, David, so graciously has agreed to house our 5 years of TKE event on November 22nd, where we'll be celebrating 5 years that we've been an organization, the impact that we've been doing. So this will happen on November 22nd from 3 to 5, 2 hours of trivia, some raffle items. We'll have a silent auction leading up to the 22nd about American Education Week, just talking about the history of our nation, of the education, just really wanting to inform our community about the wonderful nation that we live in. Yes, it has its pros and cons, but there's things that we can learn from it so we don't repeat things that have happened. We are accepting in-kind donations for the raffle and for the auction, and also sponsorships for refreshments and goodie bags that we want to do. So this is our first time doing like a big event like this. So, I'm trying to figure all the little details out, but thankful that we have a great community that can support what we do. So tickets are $10 for in-person, and then because we have a team that's so out, it's $8 if you want to tune in virtually, so you can still participate in the trivia and still, participate in some capacity. So we have event sponsorships. So we did have a goodie bag sponsor and refreshment sponsor. Like I said, it's about like $200 just to cover that cost. And then we also do in-kind services too. So anything that you're willing to support, like your time, your treasures, your talents, time, and treasures. There's a whole thing about it, but Snip and Trim, they actually donated their service of doing a haircut for Chris. We were doing a fundraiser to raise money for our organization, and one of our youth, William, he actually went into the Navy. So he's been in our program since 2022, and he was graduating, going in the military, and Chris was like, okay, if I gotta shave my hair for us to raise more money, I will do it. And he had longer hair, like he grew his hair for the last 2 years down to here. And he's like, hair is hair. But if it motivates them so we can get some more money to do more things, then that's what I'm gonna do. So I called around a little bit, and this shop down in Bowling Green agreed to come up to Game Garrison, our hobby shop partner, and make sure the kids didn't botch Chris's hair when they cut it, and make sure he got a proper haircut. And Chris has never been bald before, but he did it for our organization, and we were able to raise, I think, about $2,300 between different partners, community. We sold cookies, just different ways to engage people, because if people, don't want to just give money, they want to get something in return. So cookies don't hurt. And so, yeah, that was really fun to do that. We actually treated our kids, our community, to a Funland Day as well. So that was fun. And then one of our students, he had some financial difficulties. He's one of our assistant DMs, and his family was like, we don't know if he'll be able to participate next school year in your program. And we're like, well, due to the success in our fundraiser, we'll sponsor him, so he doesn't have to worry about, you guys don't have to worry about the cost of our D&D sessions. We do $20 per session, so usually it comes up to $200 plus, depending on the campaign length. But when you have multiple kids, sometimes you gotta make sacrifices, and we didn't want him to miss out on an opportunity where he was making friends and growing as a young man because of situations where we have the opportunity to be able to support. So I share that just because your money has impact, your time has impact. It helps people be able to have that opportunity. We have a couple other events coming up, so workshops. So partnering up with Gretchen, Greta, she is a organizer who does a lot of facilitation classes about personal storytelling and conflict resolution. And so she's doing a virtual workshop to talk about that. And so the proceeds from that part will go pay for her facilitation costs, but also will be donated to our organization. And then I'm doing youth mental health first aid classes throughout the rest of the year. First one will be on the 28th of this month. It's virtual as well. And so it's just more opportunities for people to learn different skills, be able to build community with each other. So if you need any of this information, I can definitely share it with you or scan the QR codes that you see throughout. We're always looking for people to join our team. We do pay our tutors, so we're looking for in-person tutors that are comfortable with either elementary, middle, or high school, or a mixture of both, even comfortable with adult education opportunities. So we pay between $15 to $20 an hour. And typically our tutors have between 2 hours a week, and then we also pay for prep time, because teachers, in my opinion, should get paid for their prep time, but that's a whole other situation that we're not going to talk about right now. So we give at least 30 minutes a week per student for our tutors, and we pay them for that time because we value the time that they put into their sessions. And so we're looking for tutors to help support the influx of in-person need that we have. I have quite a few virtual tutors, but people want in-person because their kids need that, hands-on support. We also have internships and volunteer opportunities. Like I stated, everybody on the organization except for our tutors are all pro bono and volunteers, so this would be, not even 5 hours a week of helping out with either outreach events, helping with grant writing. We have a lot of information together. It's just applying for the grants, having the capacity to do that. If you're interested in social media support, marketing, or if you're just interested, I have a skill set and I want to find a way I can help out. We can have a conversation and I can find and try to tailor a role that fits what you're interested in. I don't like trying to convince people to do things that they don't like to do per se. If it's like I'm not comfortable because I've done it before versus like, I don't like that. There's a difference. And I like to talk to people to kind of figure that out. And then just ways to give, just more specific numbers, because people like numbers. So for our after-school, out-of-school time programming, people can donate snacks or monetary to be able to provide snacks for our programming, shirt sponsors for our different programming. So like our D&D program got a grant for their t-shirts. Our summer camp had a individual be able to donate some of it, so he gave us a reduced rate for our shirts for the summer camp we just had. And if you're like, I don't have $10,000 to donate, can I donate like $30 or even $5 a month? That helps, because we do financial assistance for our families. Just so you have some more numbers, we charge $20 an hour for virtual, $30 an hour for in-person, and when we do financial assistance rates based off income and dependence and things like that. So, if that family can't afford it, we say, what can you pay? What can you afford? Can we stretch it out? Can we do a couple months payments? We don't like to turn people away because life is tough. And so we just ask people if they're able to help offset that cost or work with us in payment plans, then we can make sure our tutors get paid, and we also make sure that the students get what they need. And thank you for your time. Thank you for listening, and I'm looking forward to any questions that you may have, or I have some flyers too if you were interested in that, as well as a general flyer. But I appreciate the opportunity, and yeah, have a wonderful day.
All right. Take your water. All right. Questions? We got a couple mics running around. Here we go. Down front.
Hello again.
If you'll come back to the mic.
Yes, of course.
Hello. Testing. It's not on. There we go. Hello again.
Hello.
I have a question about the training for mental health.
Yeah.
I noticed on the sign up that it said that there's an in-person on September 28th. My question is, are there other in-person options if that date is not?
So maybe I need to double check my flyer, because maybe I put something off on it. But it's going to be virtual, so it'll be done through Zoom. So in the comfort of your own home, it's going to be virtual for that one. So the 28th, and then the other 2 dates, I should know the top of my head,
Yeah.
but I don't.
So those other 2 dates are also the live.
Yeah, so all 3 are live. All 3 of them are open. If you want to sign up, I have that form. You just scan the QR code and we'll tell you, you can select which one you want to attend, and then we'll go from there. But they're all virtual just because of accessibility and making sure people will be able to come at any time. But at the same time, I would eventually like to do in person. Just got to build up to that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Who else?
Hi, Maya. I think this is a great concept about trying to, like you say, bridge the gap between the kids that don't fit in the box. And I don't have children, but can you give an example of how, like maybe one other example of how you used a particular method to reach somebody that turned the light on and brought them out?
Yeah.
I think it's great.
100%. So I babysit as well because I've worked with kids for a long time. So I babysit for families from time to time, and there was a young man who had some different disabilities that were not being properly accommodated in his school setting. And so I talked to mom and said, hey, we can provide tutoring for your family. Let's just see what we can do. So our standard's like 1 hour typically. And so his tutor was doing virtual because that was the mom's capacity. She's a single mom. She's like, I can do virtual. In my head, I'm like, he'll need in person, knowing his needs, but let's just see how it goes. And so I kind of coached up his tutor a little bit saying, hey, I work with him as a babysitter. He'll need some additional support, but let's just see how it goes. And his tutor's realizing like he has a bandwidth of like 10 minutes before he just wanders off. He kind of has some emotional dysregulation, things like that. And I was like, okay, let me talk to mom. Let's kind of figure some things out and realize that, yes, he is able to sit at the computer, but he needs some support. So one method we utilized was having mom or his aide sit with him to make sure he kind of gets redirected back to the computer to be able to attend to the activity that his tutor was doing. And the other strategy we did was maybe he needs more breaks. Maybe he needs brain breaks. And I love brain breaks because it is proven to really help with learning and help with really process information and not feel so overwhelmed. And so what we did was he was able after a while to start at 10 minutes of working and then a 5-minute break. And then we were able to move up to 15 minutes and then a 5-minute break. And so we realized he wasn't able to get as much instruction in an hour, so I told mom, would you guys be open to an hour-and-a-half session? His tutor thinks that he would benefit from that. He's able to get the same amount of instruction, with more breaks, and he's able to make those outcomes, be able to make progress. And so that's what we ended up doing is, having some support from his aide to make sure he stays on track, have some coping strategies that he can use, reinforce that in the session, and implement some more breaks so he's not so overwhelmed by the material. Does that answer your question? Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? Yeah, Kit. Coming at you.
My years of raising children are long gone. But when my children were coming up, both of them were more kinesthetic learners than auditory and visual, and schools focus on the auditory and the visual learners more than they do kinesthetic. But because we were active here was a place once a week when they were small that they were told they were okay. And they've taken that into adulthood, and they both found jobs that exploit their own talents.
Yeah, 100%.
Where do you find your students? Are you allowed to go into the school system and offer your services, or where do you find your students?
So unfortunately, it's been tough getting into the schools. There's a lot of red tape, and you have to, we don't mind filling out the information, but sometimes when we make a connection, that follow through on the other side for us to actually establish our partnership with the school hasn't happened yet. So we've had connections with staff member and faculty within the school that share our resources. We go to outreach events. That's where I met you all at the Metaphysical Market. I put flyers out in the community, post on social media. So that's primarily how we find our students, and a lot of word of mouth. Thankfully, people see the impact. They see that their kids are making progress. They see the progress within themselves, being more involved in their kids' learning. And so a lot of parents talk about what we do to other people. So a lot of people have said, oh, this person at the post office came up to me and we were talking, and then she mentioned your service. And I was like, that's amazing. So it's just, thankfully people speak well about us, but looking for ways to partner up with organizations and schools to be able to do more and connect more with the students who need it most.
All right, that's great. So you brought some flyers.
Yes.
So if somebody here knows of a student who might benefit from this, they can talk to you and
Yes.
get all that information.
Yes.
All right, let's say thanks one more time. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, some quick announcements. We are still looking for teachers in our children's program. if you would be willing to volunteer. You don't have to do it every week. There's a rotating schedule, but if you would be interested, there's a QR code there that you can go in and fill out and let us know your availability. That would be awesome. All right, there we go. We have several adult religious education classes that have either just begun or are about to begin. We have a Chalice group that's going to start up again in September. That starts this Thursday. I've got a group that meets right over here at 11 a.m. on Thursdays. There's also an online group that meets in the evenings. If you have questions about that, you can see me. We have a book group that's just getting going. That's at 9 a.m. It's over here in the sofa room on Sunday mornings. We're going to start this Saturday, right? Or is it next Saturday? Yeah, no, it's this Saturday. New Testament survey class. And that's going to meet probably right in this room, right over here, 11 a.m. on Saturdays. We're going to watch a 1-hour teaching from a University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill professor on the New Testament from a scholarly perspective, and then we'll have a time of discussion about that. So if you're at all interested in that, I encourage you to come and give that a try. And then we have an ongoing comparative religion class. I think they're currently doing Hinduism and Christianity. I'm not sure. I don't see him. Okay, anyway, that's going on as well. So jump in, get involved. Our auction is coming up in October, so come to our auction and then go to Maya's auction. We're accepting donations all month. In your Monday email, there will be a link where you can sign up and let me know that you have something that you're willing to donate and upload a picture and give me all the information. If you are technology adverse, you can just talk to me and I will help you get that filled out. Don't let that hinder you. We need all the donations we can get. Lastly, we have a new support group for LGBT folks that's meeting every other Thursday, and I believe they're over here in the sofa room as well. That's on Thursday nights, right? Yeah, Thursday nights. So if you're interested in that, then please come and get involved. Now, Kathy's going to come with joys and concerns.
I need to remind you that services like this cost money. We are dependent on your generous giving to keep this going. If you liked today's service, please consider becoming a monthly giver. You can talk to David or Jackie about that. We also have an offering basket in the back for your donations. You can also give by credit card. See David for that. We will now open the mics for joys and concerns. If you have a joy or concern you would like to share, please stand now and we will bring a mic to you. Please speak up and be brief so that everyone has a chance to share.
Hi there, Marsha Wilson from the Pastoral Care Team. I have a card ready for after the service for our friend of the church, Barbara Deal. She's been in and out of the hospital for years, really, but more so lately. So please keep her in your thoughts and come sign a card after the service.
I'm Paula Barnes. I have a card for Barbara, too. I have a card for Barbara, too, so it'll be right there on the skinny table just outside the door.
I have a joy, sir, and my youngest daughter is in labor with her first child.
There we go. I have two. One, Wendy Vanderpool has some health stuff going on, so if we could send good vibes to her. And then I have court tomorrow. I'm hoping I'll finally be divorced, maybe, and not poor. So if anyone could please send your good thoughts and feelings, that would be great.
I'm Nancy Krause, and I'm visiting my family here, all my church family. I get to come back once a year, get out of the hellhole of Florida.
I'm Becky Sleminski. We need to share, for people who've known us for a while, we've been here off and on for years and years, and our oldest started here when they were probably itty-bitty, but she got engaged, So we're super excited. We love her fiance, and they're getting married in about a year. And so for those of us that remember Allison, her little redheaded self, who went through RE and Al and the bridging and all of that, she's now taking an even bigger step with a really wonderful person. So we're super happy about that.
Hi, I'm Emerald Storm, and I have Joy. My dog had 5 puppies a couple weeks ago, and there is nothing more joyful than having a bunch of baby puppies at home. And they're Frenchton and Dorky mix, and they're just the cutest little things ever. So I just wanted to share that.
Anyone else? I'm going to ask everyone that is able and willing to join me standing now. If you have an unspoken joy or concern on your heart this morning, we are going to invite you to come to the front and place a pebble in the bowl of water as a symbol of what you are holding in your heart. Our musicians will play now, and we invite you to come forward now. Everyone else is invited to meditate on the things we've discussed this morning.
At this time, we're going to sing our closing song, Go in Peace. Please join us. 1, 2, 3, here we go. Go in peace, go in love, hold me in your heart. Look for ways to share a smile, it's not too late to start. Share the love, share the hope, show someone you care. Someday soon we'll meet again, know that I'll be there.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.